and welcome to the Why Astrology section. I just wanted to create a little brief introduction because honestly, most of the information you will find below in the downloadable PDF. And I just wanted to briefly just share from my heart why astrology and why astrology first, because as you know, Book of You is a series of courses of different self-study methods and tools that you can use to really begin to study yourself and the world around you. And astrology was one of the actually one of the first self-studies that I came across. I've known about astrology for a long time, and I really began seriously studying it maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And it was a love-hate relationship for quite a while. But as I began to dive deeper into it and got past the superficial levels of it, I really began to understand, how powerful it is to have this tool to be able to use to reflect on my own life and how I've gone about doing things and how I can do better and become the best version of myself. And so again, I talk a lot about this stuff in the actual downloadable PDF, and I really would like for you to read it just because it really, I feel like, will help you to get a different viewpoint of astrology. Because again, if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you see a lot of people kind of try to use astrology to dictate what's going to happen in their lives in the next month or the next 30 days or the next week. And while I think that that's really awesome, that's a part of what I think is important to learn is what the current energies are. It's really important to learn what patterns and energies you were born with. And so one thing I really want to talk about is just mind, body, and spirit. This is something I reference in the PDF down below, but it's really important that we not just realize that it's about changing your mindset. It's about everything. And that's what I love about astrology and how I've studied it. So again, I've studied multiple versions of astrology, whether it's Vedic astrology or Eastern, Western astrology, esoteric astrology, just different astrologies from different cultures. And I've really created kind of like a meshing or a melting pot of what I've learned into this course. And the reason for that is because I felt like we needed to focus on all parts, not just the spirit, not just the mind, and not just the body. It's very easy for everybody to kind of get stuck in a niche in one of those things, right? And with astrology, I was able to see all three. I was able to see how my spirit had a plan coming into this life and how my spirit ultimately wanted to grow and wanted me to grow. And I could see how on the mental level, I was starting out as that child on the playground, getting bullied and acting like a bully to others, just doesn't matter. We play both roles. And how I needed to grow and mature on a mental level. And then I started understanding, okay, but the mind is also composed of your emotions. You have your mental intelligence and your physical intelligence and your emotional intelligence and your spiritual intelligence, right? And with astrology, I began to understand how, okay, my spirit has this plan, and this plan has basically created this sort of spiritual and mental DNA where I perceive the world in a specific way. And so while things are happening, right, in the world around me as I'm growing up, these patterns get solidified at a certain level of consciousness, you can say. And so for some of us, it's that very unconscious ego-based level. That's actually a lot of us. We start there. For some people, they're able to quickly move into that kind of awakening level where it's kind of like you're beginning to grow up, is what I like to say. And then you have the third level where you've reached alignment, where you've aligned your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, all of that. And you are a mature spiritual adult, is what I like to call it. And with astrology, again, I was able to see my spirit's plan, how that plan played out into the patterns I have in my subconscious mind, and how those subconscious patterns caused me to perceive the world in a certain way. And by perceiving the world in a certain way, my body then reacted in a certain way. So then you're able to take it to that level of stress and trauma responses and seeing how your body is in a constant state of stress because your mind is in a constant state of stress and trauma. And that this was all part of a spiritual plan for you to grow. But because you're able to, again, use astrology to see that plan, you're able to then say, okay, well, if the plan for me is to grow and this pattern is meant to move from this level of awareness to this level, I need to change my mindset to reflect this, so that then my body can then no longer react in a stressful way, right? So that's why astrology, and why astrology first. I feel like astrology is a very expansive, a very complex system that covers a lot. And I just feel like it's something that a lot of us know, a lot of us have heard of. We've all heard of your sun sign, right? Sun, moon, and rising. You hear that a lot. What's your sun sign? What's your sign? What's your sign? A lot of people know what their sun sign is, but they don't go any deeper. And so I really wanted to go deeper with it, to share how you can learn about your mental perspectives and how it's reflecting into your life in a physical way, how you're seeing it in the physical, coming from the mental, which is coming from the spiritual plane, and how you can actually grow and basically stop having to encounter the same painful experiences. Because first, it's going to change your mindset on those experiences. So you're no longer going to judge them. You're going to understand why they're happening. And then you're going to be able to change your mind. That's your mindset change. Then you're going to be able to change your actions towards it. You're going to, over time, as you read your stuff over and over, so as you read your book of you over and over again, and you begin to really understand your patterns, you'll be able to become more and more aware of what's going on and how you're reacting all the time in a state of stress and trauma, and you're going to be able to make that change. And to me, that's really powerful. So that's why part one, this course that you're looking at now, is all based on astrology. We move into numerology next, which is only going to confirm what you learned here with astrology, and then further expand, and then each study after that will only do the same thing. You will find, as we go from astrology to numerology to even other studies, that everything is confirming. You'll be able to see that everything is literally saying the same thing about you, and that there are just lessons in your life that you're gonna have to learn. So that, in a nutshell, is why astrology. Again, it's not about being on a superficial level. It's not about saying, oh, you should date somebody with this sign. It's literally saying, what is there? What patterns in your mind are keeping you from elevating and leveling up your life and living life on a level that you want to, where you have what you're wanting to experience more of, which we all say is peace, happiness, love, wealth, abundance, health, all of that stuff, right? But there's things, blockages that are in the way, and the blockages are you. You know, it's your own perspectives on things, and most of it comes from that first 7 years of experience. But again, you have to remember that your spirit planned this. So those patterns were already there. They were just activated, triggered, and then like solidified, right? So it's just about tweaking those patterns and moving them from that level of unconscious ego, being obsessed with being that brat and little bully on the playground, to maturing into a wise adult. So yeah, that's why astrology. But again, I go way deeper into all of those details in the PDF down below. So I really recommend that you give it a read. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you in the next section.